toasting, joking too. Sipping and roasting is what we do. Light 'em up, drink 'em down. Whiskey and cigars all around. Cheers, y'all.
Well,
Sounds like a party just about to happen, ladies and gentlemen.
welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this fine radio program, podcast, and video extravaganza, known internationally as the world-famous Smokin' and Toastin'. We are on the air all over the United States on radio stations that have been, conned into taking our program, and our latest victim is in Salt Lake City. So, welcome,
All right.
Salt Lake City.
More?
Yeah, welcome Salt Lake City to the show.
That's news to me.
Yeah, I was ready to share it with you right here on the program.
Live on the air.
fantastic.
We're finding out with you.
We are now on the air in Salt Lake City at KELY AM. So
Love it.
Welcome, Salt Lake City. And I think Salt Lake City is a perfect place for us to be on the air because there, if you drink, you're kind of like a resistance movement. If you drink Diet Coke, you're a resistance movement, because Salt Lake City is so heavily Mormon. So, but there are plenty of people who live there that are not.
Well, a
that
lot of people
enjoy
have,
going out
a
to
lot
their
of people
favorite
have
place and
second
having a drink.
homes there and go there for vacationing and stuff
Right?
like that.
Yeah, just bring your own alcohol. It's a BYOB party at my Salt Lake City place.
My Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Well, anyway, welcome to KELY AM. We are so glad to have you on board as our latest affiliate for Smokin' and Toastin'. And, of course, we're heard on YouTube and all the podcast places all around the world as well. And we have, I think, a good show on tap for you today. We're going to talk about how much water you should add to Scotch whiskey. And so this is something we've done before on the show where we've added a little splash of water to things. It's
I
something
know
you
the
do.
answer to that. Scientifically, the answer is yes.
How much water should you add? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
It's that many.
Well, thank you, everyone, for
explain
being
that.
here. We'll see you next week on Smokin' and Toastin'.
Not to give it away, but I'll explain that when the time comes.
All right. So, and in a rare sort of moment of synthesis, we actually have a Scotch whiskey to taste on the show today that Ian brought along that we can practice.
And water.
And water.
And
yes.
water.
And by the way, when I went to the refrigerator here at the studio to look and see if we had bottled water, we didn't. So I brought along the just some regular tap water for us to use. But I was thinking, if you don't have water and you need to add a splash to your Scotch whiskey, one thing we may try, or I'll try it because I'm daring like that, is just adding some of that Michelob Ultra Zero that we have still sitting in the fridge
That will not.
that nobody's
it just
drinking.
refuses to leave the fridge.
Yeah, and it's the most watery thing that I can think of that isn't actually water. So we'll try
It's
that.
hilarious because we have Michelob Ultra. We have like the two complete opposites. We have Michelob Ultra in the fridge, and then we have Medusa Belgian style quadruple from Copperhead Brewing, coming in at 10.5%.
And I enjoyed
beautiful.
I enjoyed an IPA from them for my show beer, and it's just a very gentle IPA, nothing to rattle your cage too much, called Mongoose Slayer.
Mongoose Slayer.
So,
and also like 8%, I think.
yeah, I think so.
I've got
So.
Black Venom,
Oh,
which
well.
seems like it could also be used in my car.
think
Very
it
dark and very delicious.
What was that old TV show theme? Black Venom, Texas tea. So anyway, welcome to the show. We are going to be trying a Scotch, as I mentioned. Ian has brought along a bottle of the Glen Grant 12-year-old Speyside Scotch whiskey. So excited about tasting that and then trying the water experiment to see how much is. We've had before where we've added a little too much and it it really kind of diminished the flavors as opposed to opening them up. So
Right. It can. You can water it down. But a lot of times adding just a few drops, well, I mean, we're going to talk about it, but adding a few drops will open it up.
Yeah. And that's what we're hoping
offer
for.
even more flavors.
So we'll get to that and how much you should use. All of that's coming up on the show today. We'll taste some beers as well from Bradenton, Florida, and the Sun Lab Brewing Company. We'll be trying their hazy IPA called I Move in Silence. Ooh, I like that.
That's an awesome name.
That's what I try to do when I'm playing Starfield on the PS5. I try to move in silence so the adversaries can't hear me. From Dallas, Texas, and the Manhattan Project Beer Company.
I like them.
I do too. Everything they do is sort of shrouded in mystery, like the Manhattan Project was, and it's kind of cool. We'll be trying their Belgian Golden Strong called Wise Monkeys.
That sounds awesome.
Anything to do with monkeys, I'm in. As soon as I saw the name, I bought the beer.
Monkeys, yes, please.
Yeah. Give me monkeys and more monkeys.
You know what?
Now, wasn't it you that told me that when you were in, was it when you were in college or you had a roommate at some point in time, you used to buy the Victory mix packs, and no one would drink the Golden Monkey?
Yeah, my buddy Dave would buy the Victory mix packs. We loved Victory Brewing out of Pennsylvania. But we were not fans of the Golden Monkey.
Golden Monkey is
over
awesome.
time, his fridge would have nothing but Golden Monkey in it because we'd drink the other beers from the mix pack and then buy another one.
Dude, if I'd have known you guys back then, I'd have swung by at least once a month.
Hey guys, what's happening? Look at this. You need me to help?
Since doing the show, my palate has grown. I can enjoy a Golden Monkey now. It's still not my favorite.
They make a few variations of it now.
They
too,
do
like Sour Monkey
all
and a few
kinds
others.
of variations.
So you're blaming it on your palate not being as
I'm really
good back
blaming
then.
it. I'm really blaming it on my friend Dave. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
That's
Dave gets the blame.
That's how I'm doing it.
Hasn't Dave been on the show before?
He has been on the show before, yeah. And as you recall, one of the times we've had him on like twice, and one of the times we brought in some Golden Monkey on the show just to mess with him. So
nice.
That was fun. We'll have to go back and tell you which show that was. Also in the beer tasting category today from Evil Twin Brewing Company. We like these guys. We've had a number of their beers
Evil
on
Twin is
before.
Awesome. They have the longest names for their beers.
This one's not very long, believe it or not. They're out of New York, and this beer is called the Great Northern Series 44.
That's the shortest name they've ever had for a beer.
But I don't think you're going to hold it against them because it's a barley wine.
Ooh.
See, I knew I had you. I had them at Barleywine. I should have just opened with that.
Yeah. I saw that bottle over there earlier, and I was like, "That looks delicious."
Yeah,
he doesn't need to know names.
Anytime you have a tall beer bottle that's very dark and has a wax seal on it.
You know you may be in for something good. Yeah. You also may know that I spent a freaking fortune on buying the bottle. So that happens with some of these barley wines.
So it's more expensive than Michelob Ultra.
$1 or two. $1 or two. We'll also be bringing you some of our most popular segments on the show. We do in the second hour of the program, we do something called Drinking News. It's where we bring you a story from the news that is sometimes, but not always about drinking, but always best enjoyed if you've been drinking. And today's Drinking News teaser headline is the return of the Florida Report. So you know that's always good. Also, we'll be doing the Drunken Fact here in just a couple of moments. It is our time on the show where we bring you a fact that is ostensibly true. We know that because we found it on the internet. And then what we try to do is give you something that the next time you're at a party, people are drinking, you want to seem like the one who knows things, you can drop one of these facts, just these random bits of knowledge.
You know, the internet is just like Shakira's hips. They don't lie.
Yeah, that's right. You know, I've been watching her hips for a while, and I've yet to be lied to.
They have not lied.
I've yet to be lied to. Our Drunken Fact teaser headline for today. I'm out of words here, Sam I am. So shut up and eat your green eggs and ham. So let's talk. We'll tell you about some cigars to watch for. Well,
I like me some Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, Dr. Seuss I thought was brilliant. I loved the books as a kid. I still love them today. I mean, you could sit me down and read me Hop on Pop, and I would be just mesmerized. Mesmerized. It's how one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Are you kidding me?
Star-bellied Sneeches?
Oh, dude, the Sneeches were the best. And you remember when they used to occasionally do like an animated special? Like when I was growing up, there was a Horton Hears a Who special.
Yes.
And now they say
Green eggs
that's
and ham?
that's the Horton Hears a Who special is too frightening for young children.
Oh.
What?
Remember, because it had that point where Horton was holding in his trunk this flower, which was like a whole
of course, it
world,
was the whole civilization.
a whole civilization. And there's a part where his adversaries in the cartoon are trying to boil the dust speck, and they're chanting, "Boil that dust speck, boil that dust speck, boil, boil, boil." I remember this from being a kid. It was very frightening.
What we should do is we should shelter people from anything
that might
might even hurt.
It's okay. It's okay. They've remade it as a movie that's much more friendly, and it's good. It's a good movie. But you're right. The original.
We should just make sure that children, when they grow up to be adults, are not prepared for anything.
That's right.
Whatsoever.
This is how bad it is.
Right.
I don't know if
adverse. As a matter of fact, your feelings are so important to everything around you. That the whole world has to be fair now.
I think so.
Here's how different we are. When they put Sesame Street on HBO, they put a disclaimer because you could go back to the original first episodes that the first episodes might not be good for today's children.
Oh, yeah. Well,
that's
there you
how
go.
that was. So the Sesame Street that we were raised on may be a little bit bad.
Yeah,
really? It was Sesame Street.
Listen, I would never have acquired a fascination with and an addiction to cookies were it not for Cookie Monster.
See, it was things like that. He was completely unhealthy.
Yeah.
He was completely unhealthy.
I followed
Oscar
suit.
had a horrible demeanor and was angry all the time.
He lives in a trash can. Come on.
He liked pickles and ice cream.
And the nicest one in the whole thing, Big Bird, stupidest bird of all time. He's not a smart bird.
What about his friend Snuffleupagus?
Oh, I love Snuffleupagus.
Yeah,
I do.
Yep, Snuffleupagus.
And who was the?
There was a whole followed that bird. I can't say you're wrong. I'm trying to get back to Sesame
who was the
Street
one
movie.
that wanted to like punch Kermit? Was the big Sweetums? Sweetums, get that froggy now.
Sweetums.
Yeah.
What about Grover? Come on.
Oh, Grover
Sweetums.
was the best.
Yes.
With the
Grover
near
was
and
the
far,
best.
that taught me a lot.
Yeah, sure. So I'm just saying we learned a lot from Sesame Street.
Yes.
And it helped to develop us into the balanced
Bert
and
and Ernie.
caring people that we are.
So if the first Sesame Streets might be inappropriate for today's children, what the heck happened to Electric Company?
It ran out of power.
I love that.
So
I loved Electric Company.
And Morgan Freeman was in that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Morgan Freeman. You gotta love.
I mean, the
Morgan Freeman.
voice. Oh my gosh!
By the way,
Things I'd like to forget I ever did.
before we
By
get
Morgan Freeman.
I'm just a bill.
before we get too much further in the program, I ran across a headline today that I have to share with you.
We're totally off the rails here.
Yes,
by the way.
and I'm trying to pull it back on the rails, except this is probably not the best thing to do that with.
Lord.
So, from time to time here on the show, we've had like the beverage of mystery will be like a cannabis-infused, a THC-infused drink, and we've enjoyed some of those. So when I saw this headline, I thought I have to share this with you on the show. There was a headline from an article in National Geographic. I'm not making this up. The headline reads, "Cannabis may make you remember things that never happened." To which I reply, duh. Thank you, National Geographic, for your hard-hitting reporting.
Hold on.
What?
Yeah.
Did someone pay for this study?
Yeah, that's what's...
You remember in the early days of this show, there was a study that we talked about where they spent the government spent a ton of money to figure out that people 18 years old or younger don't smoke hand-rolled cigars.
Yeah, don't smoke premium cigars. They can't afford them. Unless they come in
Like, how Captain Obvious is that? How much money did you spend? I could have taken that money, given you your answer. I would have taken the same amount of time, so it looked like I did something. But, I mean, I would have been efficient about it and just said...
And here we are. Cannabis may make you remember things that never happened. Dude, cannabis may make you forget why you went into the next room.
It may make you forget things that did.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Haven't you ever watched Harold and Kumar movies?
So you see, that leaves a void in your brain. So now, once you forget things that did happen, you have to create things that didn't to fill up that void.
I've actually
Philip's
come up
sitting on the couch.
I've actually come up with
Can you see my pathologic here?
Yeah, I see you. I see you. I recognize that. I would just say that I've come up with a slogan for all cannabis beverages and gummies and other, edibles and what have you.
Other than fast acting?
Yeah.
Fast acting.
Yeah, fast acting is one. The other is... what was I doing?
Cannabis gummies.
Why did I come in this room? So something like that will probably work. All right, we got.
Hey, dude, if you want to get that feeling au natural, what you got to do is walk into a record store.
Oh, thank you.
Because like you were driving up to that record store right now. Now the youths of today will not understand this, But you're driving up to that record store and you have like this list of albums, and then you walk in and that list is gone.
Oh yeah, totally.
And you end up walking out with like best of
ABBA.
James Taylor's greatest hits. All right, we have a lot to do on today's show, and we've accomplished none of it in our first segment. So we'll be back with more of James Taylor's greatest hits and a chance to get into some of these items here. Oh, Mexico. Welcome back, my friends. This is Smoking and Toasting. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. It's show number 481, which means we are almost at that exact middle point of being halfway to 500.
That's right. 500 is going to sneak up on us.
It really is. It's going to, and we're already kind of in behind the scenes talks about what to do for show 500, and we've disagreed, quite frankly, about a lot of the things that we should do. But one of the things that we are unanimous on is that there should be lots of bottles.
There's going to be bottles, yes.
Yeah, there's going to be lots of bottles. And Uber will be approached to be a sponsor.
We should offer Uber the
title sponsorship of the 500th show, brought to you by Uber. That's what I'm thinking. We got a lot to accomplish, so let's get right to it. The beverage of mystery is next. It's where one of us brings in a beverage of some sort, and the only person who knows what it is the person what brung it. We try it sight unseen because it is
the beverage of mystery.
You like how I did that?
That was
just
really
dovetailed right in.
Awesome.
I should be a disc jockey. I
you
really
should think about being in radio.
Yeah. This is how weird I am, and how people around me have to be tolerant, because I remember when Michael Jackson, Billie Jean came out. I could not wait. I was on Top 40 radio at the time, but I heard the song before I ever played it on the air, and I could not wait to talk up that intro, as DJs say. To talk of that. I was like, you got a nice long intro, and you're Power 105. She was more like a beauty queen. There's something about that.
Good.
If you're a DJ, that's the closest to sex that you can get while you're fully clothed. I'm just saying. It's an amazing thing.
Now they just have computers do it for you, but you know.
I don't know why I'm confessing this, but just because Ian's playing along on the ukulele. I love Michael Jackson songs on the ukulele. It's one of my favorite things.
Are you excited for the movie?
I'm excited for the beverage of mystery. Is what I'm excited for, and that's saying something.
Thank you, because I didn't want to have to figure out the rest of that off the top of my head.
That's all right. We'll do Thriller next. So,
dude, that bass line, boom, 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 boom.
I'm telling you, it is one of the greatest pop bass lines of all time.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And I remember. It reminds me that I was at a job interview once, and the guy asked me, says, "Well, can you perform under pressure?" And I said, not really, but I can do Bohemian Rhapsody. So we really need a drum kit in here with a rim shot. We really
have to
do.
get one. I'll have to get AI to make us one.
Today's show is...
No, see, it's different. It goes...
Yeah, that's how it goes. All right, let's try the beverage of mystery, shall we?
Very peachy.
It is a little peachy, and I put it in the freezer, so it's partway frozen.
It's just the right temperature. It's mostly frozen.
Well, you kind of want the beverage of mystery to be super cold.
For sure.
This is one thing we've learned.
So I have to tell you, okay, so I'm trying to nose this.
It smells lovely.
The peach is really nice, but when
like
you get
natural.
really in there,
the peach is strong with this one.
There's a little something darker lurking underneath.
Oh, that's scary.
Something darker. You never want to hear there's something darker lurking underneath the beverage of mystery, because you're already at a deficit.
That tastes fine.
Yeah, it actually tastes pretty good. There's just a tiny hint of that, what'd you call it?
Carcinosweet.
Carcinosweet, that's what it was. I knew it was something cancerous. But actually, it's maybe it's because it's this cold, but it's actually pretty well masked.
So this peach... This is the peach that's not sweet, and it's right next to the pit.
Mm-hmm.
You know that kind of
which is the best
slightly
kind of peach,
discolored,
right?
Yes.
that slightly discolored area that's right next to the pit.
And yet at the
That
same
is
time,
exactly what this is tasting like. It's actually kind of good. I like
and
it.
yet at the same time, it reminds me a little of peach cobbler, the little bit sweeter sort of peach cobbler too.
It's a very sweet peach, but not like in an unnatural way.
And there's so many unnatural beverages of mystery, so that makes this one pretty good. You have a question for me?
Is that a beverage of mystery in your pocket, or are you just happy to be here?
It is a beverage of mystery, and we are enjoying a Sprinter, a peach Sprinter. It is a vodka soda.
Because it gets you there quick. You're sprinting right to the finish line.
Vodka soda, yeah.
So this is actually pretty good.
It actually is. It's one of the better, I think, beverages of mystery we've had in a while. Didn't we have one last week that was so disgusting we all just almost quit
That was
the
the
show?
one that Alan gave us.
Very
Oh,
bad,
God.
and none of us finished it.
It was so bad.
It was so bad.
This one's
say
pretty
hello
good.
to Sprinter, a bold and juicy mix of real fruit juice, premium vodka, and sparkling water. It's your +1 for fun.
Well, if it
and it has
really
a small can, so it feels like you're skinnier.
If it really is just vodka and sparkling water and not a lot of other stuff added, that's why it's good.
Yeah.
Because A, vodka's good, and B, sparkling water's good.
Yeah.
C, peach is good.
Yeah.
So like this is a winning formula here, and I think it's important that we really celebrate the actually drinkable beverages of mystery and it's one of the reasons that we do this, because there's so much out there.
So it says
and so much of it
obviously
is
no
awful.
added sugar, and that's the thing I like. I like that it doesn't have the artificial sweet. Right. So immediately I'm fine with it. 100 calories, gluten free, obviously no sugar. That's what it says. Premium vodka, real fruit juice, sparkling water, natural flavors. And if that's your list of ingredients, then you're then it's
You're
a
already
win.
ahead. Yeah, you're already ahead.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
I
come
like
on.
it.
Yeah.
It's hard to go wrong with that. That's going to make it actually kind of taste good.
Yeah, really.
So I will say this:
Clear with
in
no
the
artificial flavor.
strongest endorsement of a beverage of mystery ever, I'm probably going to finish mine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
And that
No, I
that
did.
tells you everything you need to know.
It is.
Because also the peach in it, like it's not perfumey peach. It literally tastes like that almost that bitter peach right next to the pit. It's really delicious. Actually.
I'm really glad I put this in the freezer, because I don't know if it would be nearly as good if it were slightly warm.
Yeah. Room temperature might not be as good.
I like the over carbness of it too.
Yes.
It's kind of in a lot of cases that's a detractor, but in this case I think it's really kind of good. It gives it a little spiciness.
It is.
I also
It's
really
very good.
enjoy the peachy ice, which is there, because I put this in the freezer.
Yes. It's very good.
Yeah, it's this
right.
this is strange because I'm actually enjoying this.
All right, so we're going to enjoy this during the break, and we will be right back with Ian's cigar review for this week. It's Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting, and something just happened for the first time on the show in 481 episodes. I had to actually remind Ian to open a beer.
I was ruminating on the peachiness of the.
This is really good.
He's enjoying it
I'm
that
going
much.
I
I'm
was
going to
actually
buy
enjoying it.
more of those. That's how good this
So
is.
like if you want to look at this is actually kind of nice.
It seems like it's what the idea of these
I hate
canned
to-
beverages should have been, which
Right.
is just the alcohol and like some
juice and some
water,
sparkling
yeah.
water.
Exactly. That's what these should be. Quit
That's what
trying
this
to put
tastes
so
like.
much
It's
crap
actually
in
really
it.
nice.
Yeah.
And I hate to even admit that I like this because it's gotten to the point where these are a joke.
Well,
Right, like
but
canned-
that's why we keep
canned
soldiering
cocktails
through these, because
are-
there's some gems in there.
They're kind of just a joke to begin with, but this is not. This is actually pretty good.
I'm laughing, and it's a happy laugh.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have an opportunity to smoke anything interesting this week, my friend?
Boy, did I.
Would I? Oh, sorry, that's a bad joke.
We smoked so many cigars. I went
Speak
back.
for yourself.
We smoked so many cigars.
What'd you smoke this week,
I
my
went
friend?
back to an old favorite and just wanted to talk about it. Okay.
Yep.
And it reminded me that we need to get Trenton on the show.
Oh,
again.
you must have had an Oliva.
Oliva Serie V Classic.
Mm.
The double Robusto coming in a 5x54. The appearance on this medium brown wrapper, firm, oily, smooth with some veins. little bit of leathery kind of feel to it. This is just such a classic cigar to me.
You know, I just wanted to mention.
I smoke these so often.
One of the traps that's easy to fall into in the cigar world is when, like, use Oliva as an example. The Melanio series is so good that it's easy to sleep on the other ones. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of like their
right.
ultimate cigar,
and I
right?
talked about their Serie G a few weeks back.
Yes, I remember that, and how good that cigar was. And it is a good cigar.
And the Serie O, both. But yeah, I went back and just revisited the Serie V, and there's a reason I smoke this one so often. Like, if I smoke 10 cigars, 2 of them are probably Serie Vs.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's up there. One of them's probably going to be an Oscar Valdez of some sort. By the way, Oscar, come on the show. Like, we need to see you on here.
I just wanted to mention, by the way, your Oscar Valdez fanboy status is rapidly approaching my AJ Fernandez fanboy status.
I picked up one of his cigars called a Raw Dog. Have you seen this cigar?
Oh no, but I love the name.
I need to do a review on it. But it's literally binder and filler.
And no wrapper?
That's it.
Wow.
Binder and filler.
And how was it?
It's fantastic, and it's fun to smoke. Like, you don't have to clip anything.
You should review that one on the show as well.
Yes.
You definitely should. But tell me about this Oliva.
So, pre-light sniff on this. Earth and leather, rich coffee coming through. The pre-light draw, I use a punch on this. Had a medium draw, sweet, creamy coffee, hints of mocha. Initial light, pepper. Come on. I mean...
Did you get a little Nicaraguan pepper blast going on there?
Because it's so good.
I love it. I love it.
Leather, tangy spice coming in on the initial. The first third, this rich spice coffee and semi-sweet chocolate coming through, and
that's all such good notes for a cigar.
And it's not that it's just like that blatant either. It's like it's coming through on this big, beautiful smoke. That when you puff on this thing, like the smoke output on these cigars is fantastic. You end up with this big, juicy mouthful of smoke. And you exhale, and then the retrohale is where that chocolate really comes through. It's so good. A little bit of pepper and a chocolate. The second third of the cigar, notes of toffee and sweetness play around with the leather, coffee, and chocolate. There's also sometimes a little bit on the retrohale. It doesn't show up all the time, but a little bit of almost a confectioner's sugar, powdered sugar kind of thing
sugar
going on. Proposed pairing on this, man. Any good whiskey is going to go with this.
Yeah, I like that.
It's really easy to pair this with just about anything. But I went in and got myself a pour of Weller.
Okay.
Which is a wheated bourbon, and I absolutely...
You're taking no chances here. Yeah. This is not a daring choice, but a wise one.
No. And the Weller was fantastic with it.
I want to get you like an animatronic figure for Christmas that is a replica of, in the second or third, I forget which, Indiana Jones movie, when the old sage guy with the long white beard and says, "You have chosen wisely."
Yes.
And I want to put that
That's
up
what
on
he's
your
looking
bar.
for. The
so when you're doing the whiskey sniff and you choose one, he'll speak up. You have chosen wisely.
The last third of the cigar, dark bitter chocolate, sweet toffee, tangy spice, and coffee dominate, followed by leather and pepper. This cigar is one of my absolute go-tos. I'm not even joking. I smoke these so often, and I smoke these so often it didn't occur to me to go ahead and do a review on it.
Oh, okay.
Because I've done a review on this. But I absolutely love this cigar. And I keep buying more and more of them. Sometimes you can find them on a great sale online, but I'm not adverse to walking in and buying them right off the shelf at a cigar shop as well. If you're buying it off the shelf at a cigar shop, you're going to pay about $12 for this one, which is sad because 4 years ago it would have been $7 to $8.
Yeah.
You know, but that's okay. $12 at today's market value is still a great cigar. I'm going to give it a 5. However,
there's a but.
I buy these online pretty often, and when I buy them online, they go down to about $4.
Oh, dude, all day.
And to me, that's a 6.5 to a 7.
I love it.
This is one of my favorite cigars. It's an absolute go-to, and I love all the sizes of it.
And so this is something you smoke often enough that you can recommend it, like, in a big way.
I smoke a Series V.
Wasn't just that you got a good one.
Or 2 at least every week.
Love it. I love it. So I'll tell you about what I smoked here in a moment. But first of all, because my cup is leaking.
Apparently mine is too.
We got a bad batch of cups here recently.
Mine's not, haha.
Okay, well, yours does have that big hole in the top. So
Yeah, exactly.
I still have a feeling it's going to be gone. This is an IPA that is from Sun Labs, which I believe is Florida-based. Let me go back to mine.
Silence.
I'm moving, Bradenton, Florida. I Move in Silence is the name of it. I love that. It's hazy and mysterious, and this is a very
got a cool
hazy
label on it.
IPA. So
with Mosaic and Nelson hops, 1 pint coming in at 7%.
all right, so on the nose, this promises hazy IPA goodness.
I love that the first beer you brought up is 7%. Mm-hmm. And that cup is just dripping everywhere.
Here's the thing. Usually, we save the IPA for the second of our 3 beers because usually we'll have something like a Pilsner or something that is the first beer that's a little lighter. But in the case of today, what was going to be our first beer was this one from Manhattan Project Beer Company, but it's a Belgian Golden Strong, and it's higher ABV than this. So we're actually starting with the lightest beer of the day, which I know will thrill you because
and
if this
leaky
is the lightest one, what do you think about this IPA?
It's actually, this is a sessionable. So it's
Sessionable
a
hazy.
sessionable 7%. That's for sure.
Now
It's really good. It's got a little bit of a lactose-y kind of
yes, it does. Thank you for mentioning that.
creaminess to it that makes it really interesting. It's sweet. It's got a little bit of
When you say creepiness, it's not creepy. It's that it kind of creeps in on you, right?
sweetness.
But you're not talking about a negative.
No. It's it creeps in and see, this one has a little bit of a hole in it too. But this particular it's got this kind of a silky kind of texture to the mouthfeel.
It does. It's actually
really
very. I was going to almost call it like cottony, billowy. It's got this soft, fluffy kind of mouthfeel to it.
Yes, that's
I mean,
a good
it's
description of it.
obviously CO2, but it has, like, once the CO2 kind of spiciness tickles the tongue, on the finish of this, it has almost a nitro kind of.
What hops did you
smoothness to
say?
it. Nelson and Mosaic.
Nelson Sauvin hops have a little dankness to them, and
Yeah.
I get just a touch of that in
That's
this,
where it's coming
which
in.
makes it interesting. Yeah.
And the
bubbles
Mosaic-
are so small.
The Mosaic
Tiny bubble.
and the Mosaic makes it very fruity.
Yeah. It is a very
And so
fruity hazy.
this is actually really quite nice. I like
is.
this. I bet if you're at this brewery and you're getting this right off the tap, this is absolutely stunning.
So I have been drinking for my show beer from the Copperhead Brewing Company in Conroe, Texas. Their IPA, actually it's a double, it's called Mongoose Slayer. And I would say that between the two of these, if I were to compare them, Mongoose Slayer is the warrior. This is the person appearing before the congressional hearing advocating for peace. You know? This is a much more approachable, friendly kind of an IPA. And that's not knocking the Mongoose Slayer, by the way.
Mongoose Slayer is outrageous.
That's Pete Hegseth's favorite beer. So it is what it is. So no, I don't know that. I made that up. Yeah. Watching, I just have to say, no matter what side of the political aisle you're on, watching Colin Jost as Pete Hegseth on Saturday Night Live is hilarious.
I didn't recognize the number. I just thought I'd answer the phone and say a few military secrets.
Exactly. Oh, it's brilliant. Tell you about the cigar that I smoked this week. It's the Aging Room Rare Collection Scherzo, one of the several Aging Room cigars that is named a musical name. Aging Room. Am I pronouncing it correct?
Scherzo.
Scherzo?
Scherzo.
Scherzo.
It's like a kind of frenetic piece.
I was saying scherzo, but scherzo is how you say it.
Scherzo, yes.
It's a frenetic piece, like something that with a lot of energy bottled up.
A lot of
inside
energy
it.
with.
Well, Aging Room
very boisterously.
Aging Room is one of my favorite boutique cigar brands. I love what Rafael Nodal has done in the blending and production of some of these amazing sticks, and I also love that he's smart enough to collaborate with a guy that you might have heard me mention here on the show before. His name is AJ Fernandez.
I don't know if I've heard of that guy.
Yeah. The Aging Room Rare Collection cigars.
Such a fanboy.
These Rare Collection cigars are small batch runs that often use rare, limited, and really well-aged tobaccos. This Rare Collection cigar, which you can see in the picture here if you're watching on the video version of the show, it uses all Nicaraguan tobacco, including a Nicaraguan hybrid wrapper that was grown on AJ Fernandez's farm, and then for the binder and filler, a mix of Nicaraguan tobacco, including the Cuban seed Pelo de Oro leaves. Now, the reason this is significant is that most tobacco growers, including those in Cuba, have given up on Pelo de Oro, which, by the way, is Spanish for Pelo of Oro. The reason they've given up on it is due to the difficulty of successfully growing large, healthy batches of this tobacco, mostly because this particular strain is susceptible, extremely susceptible, to molds and other agricultural diseases. To AJ, this didn't sound like a barrier. It sounded like a challenge. Because that's who AJ is. I'm on it. And that's how this much more rare tobacco came to be grown on his farm in small amounts and how it made its way into this Aging Room Rare Collection. Tobacco-wise, the Rare Collection, how'd you say it, Scherzo? Scherzo. It's a really pretty cigar, although I'm not a huge fan of the bands. The colors look a little washed out and like this might be an El Cheapo instead of a rare and important cigar. But it's not cheap, and it is rare and important. There are 3 sizes in the line, and I picked the Scherzo, or however.
Did they do that, you think, to intentionally understate the...
I think so. I really do.
Or maybe to draw more attention to the wrapper instead of the band.
That could very well be, because the wrapper itself is absolutely beautiful. This is a 55 by 5.5 that looked to me like a Toro, but I believe it's actually defined as a Robusto Grande. I used a V-cut and bypassed the pigtail cap.
I think there's some gray areas in those.
Yeah, I think so. I took in the feel and the smell of the leaves. Pre-light sniff was mostly earthy, while the cold draw revealed fermented tobacco, earth, and a hint of cedar. I hit it with a lighter, fully expecting a Nicaraguan pepper blast, but I didn't really get one. First few puffs gave pepper for sure, but not enough to really qualify, I think, as a blast.
A waft, if you will.
Yeah, other notes in the first third included leather, earth, and a very slowly morphing collection of baking spices, along with a subtle sweetness. Second third was where the Aging Room Rare Collection, whatever this is called, Scherzo, Scarecrow, really opened up in the flavor department. I got notes of brown sugar, dense, loamy earth, and a slight citrus tang, mixing it up with the black pepper and creating one of the more complex blends that I have smoked in a while. The pepper lingered on the finish, putting a wonderful tingle on my tongue, and it was the dominant note in the retrohale.
The Aging Room does complex blends so well. Like their Cuatro and their Cuatro Nicaragua especially.
Yes. Oh, and Cuatro Nicaragua was Cigar of the Year, I think, several years ago.
Such a good cigar.
By the final third, I was in complex tobacco heaven. The earthy notes were delicious and intriguing. Baking spices weaved their way in and out, and all the notes I'd picked up in the first 2/3 remained, or at least made themselves known from time to time as the cigar smoked. This cigar started out medium-bodied and built to almost full by the time I finally started to burn my fingers on the nub. I really didn't want to let this one go, and by the time I finally did, I was wishing I'd bought more than one of these. Construction was excellent. The burn line was steady. Draw was perfect. I didn't have to tend the cigar one time.
Love it.
While I was smoking it. Suggested pairing. Aging Room recommends a Cuba Libre, and that would be good. But I'm thinking a nice Flor de Caña Añejo rum would be absolutely perfect. For my early morning smoke, I paired it with my favorite salted caramel iced tea, and it worked beautifully. 2 tips on smoking the cigar. Make sure you save this one for, a time when you can sit and really savor these morphing flavors.
To really enjoy it,
And for what it's worth, try smoking it slowly and patiently because you're not going to want this one to end. The Aging Room Rare Collection Scherzo. It's a $15 to $16 cigar, and I'm going to tell you right now, I think it's better than pretty much anything else in that price range.
Wow.
Give me this even over a Padron Anniversary, which is pretty high praise.
Wow.
At that price, I won't be smoking this one all the time, but when I do, at least based on this one, it's going to knock my socks off. I am currently not wearing socks. I apparently lost them when I was smoking the cigar. Price to quality, 7. And
That's
even
true.
higher if you can manage to find this one cheaper. I cannot recommend this cigar more highly. One of
You
the
gave it a
best,
7 at $15
one
to
of the
$16.
best cigars I have smoked this year.
Holy
Yeah.
cow.
So there you go. We'll try some beer when we come back. It's Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back. It's Smoking and Toasting. I was just going to say during the break, it's pretty amazing that by the end of the show, we can tell you anything that makes any sense because of how enjoyable some of these beers are. Still enjoying this I Move in Silence IPA from Sunlab. Very, very
Now, when
very
you say
good.
by the end of the show, are you talking about this specific one or are you talking about the show in general?
Well, I'm talking about every show. Every show. So let's. I know Terry's having some problems with the clock. So
Well, we'll just have to do that and guess.
Did you
what we
try
normally
to
do.
smack it on the side of the screen therapy
I did. I beat it before the show, but apparently not enough.
and the on and off?
and remember, the beatings will continue until morale improves.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And remember, that's how you used to fix a TV or a radio.
Right,
remember, you just
right,
get up
right.
and hit it on the side.
Well, one thing I've learned from the movies, if you want to stop a computer from working, you shoot the screen.
yes, absolutely. And the other thing I've learned from movies is if you need to defuse a bomb, there's really no point in doing it until there's only 2 seconds left on the timer.
That's right. You might as well wait till that's
Yeah, it's like-
wait. You mean the files are in the computer?
Not in the screen?
Yeah, I could clip the red wire now, but I'm just gonna wait.
It could be the
Yeah,
blue.
I'm just
Let's
gonna
think about
wait.
this for a few more seconds.
Terry, let's do the drunken fact, shall we?
And now it's time for another Smoking and Toasting Drunken Fact.
I'd just like to mention that this is the last segment of the first hour of the show, and the fact that we're just getting to the drunken fact tells you a lot about how this show is going. The drunken fact for today. This is good for, dropping at a party where people are starting to get a little inebriated. You want to come across like you know things. So lay this one on them. They'll love this. The legendary children's author Theodore Geisel, better known as Dr. Seuss, won a bet when he wrote the children's book, famous book, Green Eggs and Ham. His publisher
Sam I am.
bet him that he couldn't write a book using 50 words or less. Green Eggs and Ham uses a total of exactly 50 words.
Whoa.
These 50 were once read over and over by a senator on the Senate floor when he read the book during a filibuster, but it was only 50 words. He had to keep repeating them. I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like Green Eggs and Ham.
Nice.
Would not eat them on a boat?
That's our Texas Senator Ted Cruz.
What?
No, I'm
Was
not
that
kidding.
true?
I'm not kidding. He actually read Green Eggs and Ham on the Senate floor during a filibuster. Because, during a filibuster, you're trying to just keep talking, right?
Yeah.
So they can't take the
That's
vote.
literally,
Yeah,
you
so-
got to keep talking.
Right. So he decided to read Green Eggs and Ham.
Wow.
Yeah. Which
Wow.
I understand he picked up at the airport kiosk when he was leaving Texas during a snow emergency. So, thank you. 50 words in Green Eggs and Ham. 50 words. Dr. Seuss
And
won the
brilliant.
bet.
That's
Brilliant.
amazing.
I love Dr. Seuss. I think he's
And
awesome.
you suppose he made a couple dollars off that book?
I'm thinking he made a buck or two. Yeah, yeah. And if you divide
I
it,
had that book.
if you divide it by word, it's probably like $400,000 per word that
Yeah.
he's made on that book. Maybe more. Maybe more.
You think of how many people that wrote very long books and didn't make as
Yeah.
much money as
That's
that
right.
book that has
Yeah,
50
yeah,
words in
yeah.
it. Made.
War
I'm-
and Peace. They're still trying to recoup their initial outlay, but Green Eggs and Ham paid for itself
Paid for
day
itself.
one. Yeah.
50 words.
Have you seen these books that are like Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters?
Oh, no, I haven't, but I like it already. Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters. You know.
Oh, dude. Yeah, there's a few of these out there like that are like the classic books.
I will just point out that according to what Alan Denny told me, in the literary compendium called Erotica, a number of people enjoy something called tentacle porn.
Wow.
So I'll just leave you with that
That's
mental image.
tentacular.
Let's try a beer, shall we?
This beer is a little funky.
This beer is called Wise Monkeys. I'm kind of expecting it to be funky
called
because
20,000.
anything
It's
with
a
a
little
monkey on
funky.
it seems to be a little funky.
In the best way.
All right, so
monkey.
this is from the Manhattan Beer Project, which is a Dallas, Texas brewery that is really different. I mean, these guys really kind of go.
They go out there.
I don't know whether they were all like nuclear physicists or something before they started this.
All right, check this out. Take a sip of this beer.
Okay.
You too, Terry. Take
yeah,
take a
dude.
big old
I
sip.
just
Okay, get that flavor in your mouth, and
some
then do
wonderful
the
funk.
retrohale. And it's all banana.
Oh, big time. Big time
Yes.
banana on the retrohale. It
That's what
almost
that is.
it almost feels like a Hefeweizen, but it doesn't have that weedy.
A little bit. It's got a
Quality
funkiness to it that I really kind of enjoy. I got to be honest. Wise Monkey is a Belgian golden strong that packs a punch in a devilishly drinkable package. When you raise the glass to your nose, you will detect a bit of fermented stone fruit,
No kidding.
specifically peach. Yeah, that's that funkiness. That's that kind of fermented, pardon me, peachiness, and pear. It also has a slightly perceptible sweetness and a semi-dry finish.
I think this is wonderful.
It's pretty good.
What is the ABV on this, Ian?
I was just looking for that. It's 10%. So you started at 7 today,
Yeah.
and now you've gone to 10.
Yeah, and we have
So
a
you
barley
can't
wine.
say anything about my beer
We have
choices.
a barley wine coming up. So yeah. Well, sometimes I just want to make you happy. That's what
I love today.
that's what it boils down to. Sometimes I just want
You
to
know, I
make
don't
you happy.
understand what Garfield's thing was about Mondays. My Mondays are awesome.
And Monday's when we record the
Yes,
show, which is
Mondays
what,
when we
which is
record
what
the
he's
show.
referring to.
I know you guys hear it on Friday or Saturday, but Mondays.
I know you love big beers, Ian, and
I like big beers, and I can't deny.
and guess who is in your camp? One of my favorite people on the planet, William Shatner.
The Shat.
Yeah, he's one of the most well-traveled men on the planet. He's been to outer space, like for real, not just like in Star Trek, but for real. And he basically came clean on his beer, his beer obsessions. He likes the bigger, darker, bitter stouts.
Wow.
That's what does it for Captain Kirk.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and I'm kind of digging it. By the way, if you should ever visit Las Vegas, there's a Star Trek-themed Quark's Bar in one of the hotels. I think it's at the Hilton or whatever it's called now. And they have all kinds of stuff like Romulan ale and all kinds of cool Star Trek
We're totally
themed
having to do that.
beers. So,
I'm not even a geek, and I want to go there.
yeah. Well, listen, William Shatner's my hero. I'm just going to say it. The guy has been drinking dark beer and like being cool and being Captain Kirk for all this time. And he's like almost 90 years old and he's still
The
kicking.
first interracial kiss on TV.
That's right.
Oh,
you
yes.
go.
Captain Kirk.
You go, Captain Kirk.
There you go.
Uhura was a hottie.
And they told him not to do it. That's
Yeah,
balls,
and he was
dude.
like, no, we're doing it. Yeah, I love it. That's the intergalactic exploration that I'm looking for right there. I got it. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back with hour 2 of the show. At some point, we have to get into what the show is all about, and that may be about how much water you should put in your whiskey if you're.
We have a whiskey over there.
Yes, and I'm excited about getting to it. We'll do that coming up. It's Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back. That sound is a welcoming item to all of you. Thank you for joining us for Smoking and Toasting. We are so glad to have you guys listening to the show. It is show number 481. We're all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And during the break, Terry was mentioning, we were talking about Star Trek and Captain Kirk, and Terry was mentioning people dressing up and
Well, that bar, I want to know if you can go into that bar and just order in Klingon, and they just kind of have to know what you're talking, because it's expected. I mean, there has to be people that do that. There's 12-year-olds that speak Klingon.
So, here's the thing. Terry has now opened the door for me to relate this story to you, so you can blame Terry for this. I was in Las Vegas a number of years ago, and I was at what was then the Hilton, which is where the Star Trek themed casino portion is, and there's a Star Trek ride, like a motion simulator ride, right? And it dumps you out like everything else does into the
gift shop.
And
always into the gift shop.
Always, yeah.
Always.
And exit through the gift shop. That's going to be the name of my memoir. When I pass, that's going to be the name of it. Exit through the gift shop. But when I was there, was a very special weekend in Las Vegas because Tim Russ, who played Tuvok, the Vulcan on Star Trek Voyager, was there.
Okay.
And he was doing a thing where he was signing autographs. And so there was a sign up about him signing autographs. I noted the time and went and I got Tim Russ's autograph because I'm a complete geek. Right?
Yes, you are.
Tim Russ also plays in a jazz trio. I believe he's a bass player. And the jazz trio was playing that night at Quark's Bar.
Oh.
In the Hilton in
makes
Vegas.
sense. Yeah.
So now I didn't buy tickets or attend the thing, but I was staying in that hotel. And so I went out to dinner and was hanging out with some friends and gambling and doing stuff. Came back to the hotel, and as I'm going back to my room, I thought, I want to just stick my head in the venue there and see how good the guy that played Tuvok on Voyager's jazz trio is. Like, are they serious musicians, or is this just a
I
thing?
don't know who this character is, but okay.
Okay, so
are they as good as Revo Max on Star Wars?
Right.
Yeah.
So I stick my head in the thing, and Tim Russ is up there on stage, the guy that was on Star Trek Voyager, and he's there with his combo, and they are playing some, serious jazz, like real jazz, not smooth jazz. Yeah. And they're up there doing their jamming, and he's really into it. And I'm thinking, God, he's so proud to be, part of this band and to be a musician. He's not just the guy on Star Trek.
Yeah.
He's this musician. And then I turned my head and I looked out at the audience and watching the members who were like nodding along and tapping their feet. And most of them were dressed up in Klingon garb.
Full on.
And I thought to myself,
their Star Trek outfits.
I thought to myself, this poor bastard, even when he's doing his real serious jazz musicianship stuff, he's playing to a group of people wearing Klingon makeup and
the
false
funny
teeth.
thing is when he started that band, he's like, yeah, I got a built-in audience.
Yeah.
And now he's like,
damn it. I got a built-in audience. Yeah, right. I'm sure that if he had shown up just without the Star Trek connection, the audience would have been much smaller.
You know the difference
but there also would have
between
been much fewer Klingons.
You know the difference between a
Klingons.
jazz musician and a rock musician, right?
What's that?
A jazz musician knows 5,000 chords and plays to 3 people.
Yeah. A rock musician knows 3 chords and plays to 5,000 people. It's so true. It's so true.
That's right.
Dude,
hello, Coachella.
I have already nosed this Glen Grant, and wow, is it wonderful on the nose. Wow.
It's I've already been doing research.
Yes, tell me about your research.
Because you were doing that thing that you do, that talking.
Yeah. I figure you got the best job on the show because while I do the talking, you do the research. And the research is
Somebody
what's
has
awesome.
to do it.
The research is what's awesome. What do you think?
Holy crap, this is good.
It really, I haven't even tasted it yet, and I know how good it's going to be.
This is not even...
The Glen Grant 12-year is the whiskey.
I feel
so
good
this
about
was-
going
this
ahead
was a
and
gift.
calling him out on our Instagram page already during the show before we opened it, so I feel good about that now.
This was a gift. This is from one of my... I teach guitar, and so this is from one of my guitar students. Brought me in a bottle of Glen Grant and a couple cigars, actually.
Dude, this is really good.
And he's not... I don't think he's a drinker at all.
Yeah?
He's an incredibly interesting guy.
He's 14 years old. No, I'm just kidding.
No, he's a surgeon, actually. And his name's Glen, and he... Oddly enough.
Yeah.
Glen.
But his
Grant.
Glen has 2 ends. Anyway, but he gave this to me, and I've been kind of saving this to bring it on the show, so I haven't opened it. It came in this beautiful.
It's a gorgeous presentation.
Well, yeah.
Yes,
and I have to say, this is above and beyond what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, this is exceptional.
It's really good.
I was not expecting not to like a 12-year-old Scotch whiskey, but this has already surpassed what my initial expectations were.
43%, so slightly overproof.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it not only is it beautiful, look at the clarity on that.
Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Yes.
But it's incredibly complex. Like this, there's a little bit of peat in there. There's a little bit of what do they say on here? They said apple pie, caramel, and almond notes unfold and intrigue with every sip. But they didn't even talk about the bit of peat and the.
I get that
warmth. The apple pie is 100%. That's
and I think that you're right to say warmth because it's warm, but it's not hot at all. It's very warm, but not hot.
Yeah, this is exceptional. In fact, this may be one of my favorite scotches we've had in a while.
It's not smoky, but there's almost a smoky feel to it.
Yes, I get
that.
I get that what you're doing. Yeah, where you're saying
kind of a
that.
sultry kind of.
When you get that smokiness out of like a mezcal or something.
Kind of a sultry sweetness to it. It's not as sweet as you think it is, but it gives the impression that it is. It's interesting.
Right. So we got to take a break, but when we return,
no, we're good.
Oh, we're
in segment one.
I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong segment.
Yep,
My bad.
segment one.
So we have time to keep drinking.
Yeah. Which is very important.
Ian, this is not only, I think, a really premium example of a 12-year-old Scotch, but it may be head and shoulders above some of the other 12s that I've had from other distilleries.
And it's funny because, not to look the gift horse in the mouth, but the price on this is pretty decent.
Did you look at it and see how much it is?
$55 is what I found.
Wow.
So you probably can expect to find this, depending on where you are, between $55 and $65.
Wow. Yeah.
That's pretty exceptional for this quality.
It says here the Glen Grant 12-year-old is a sublime single malt with bright golden color and aromas of orchard fruits and vanilla. The palate reveals mouth-watering layers of apple pie, toffee, caramel, and almonds. On the finish, soft summer fruits linger with honey and hints of spice.
Totally getting that almond on the finish.
I think they're missing it though. There's almost a little like there's a little peaty. And smokiness
it's
to
an
it.
undercurrent, though. It's not like does not taste like a peaty Scotch.
No, it does not. But it's so gentle, and just a hint of it there that this could lead you down the road to going, like if you like this, it could lead you down the road to liking more peaty stuff. With an ingenious mind and charismatic personality, James the Major Grant personally designed innovative tall, slender pot stills with the unique water cooling purifiers to achieve his vision of a seductively smooth, fruity, rich, superior single malt. Superior single malt. Sorry.
I know what you were trying to say. Yeah. No, I'm serious.
Have another drink. You'll say it better.
This is really in its category. I think rises right to the top.
I think bang for the buck. Like if I put this on our price to quality scale, this is hitting 6 or 7 right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really good.
I've had whiskeys that cost double this that I didn't enjoy as much.
Yeah, I agree with you totally. And you know what's interesting is I spend a lot of time in liquor stores. It's just who I am. And when you're
10
standing,
you're just standing outside.
10 a.m. You're waiting for them to open. Yes. But
I always wondered who that guy was.
Yeah, that's
you.
There are several cars. One of them is mine. But when you're standing in the aisle of all of the scotches, right? And I have a tendency to shop at like Specs downtown locations, so they've got
aisle of Scotch. Yes.
Yes. There's a whole aisle of scotches.
Which is a beautiful double entendre.
Right. Absolutely. And so when you're standing there, so you see the brands that you know and that you love, the Glen Morangies, the Glenlivets,
all the Glens.
But this is a Glen that's Glen Grant that if you're looking at it on the shelf and it's a $45 to $55 whiskey, you just have no idea. How is this going to stack up?
Fine looking bottle, but what is it going to taste
beautiful.
like when I open this up?
Exactly.
That's that's one of the inherent problems with buying whiskey, but buying Scotch especially, because Scotch is generally a couple price levels up from your bourbon aisle.
Usually,
yes.
You go to the bourbon aisle, you spend $30, you're probably getting something that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Agreed.
When you go over to Scotch aisle, you spend $30. That's
you may or may not.
real questionable.
Yeah, you may or may not.
You're
sure.
in the questionable area.
You're in the questionable area.
You need to know
However,
what it is.
I've found in the $60 to $80 region, almost anything you buy is going to be at least good, but you have to also be very aware of what style of Scotch you like, because if you go spend $80 on an Ardbeg and you're not a peaty kind of person,
it's not going to be
very
it's not going to be your
unhappy.
favorite.
Oh,
yeah.
You know,
Ardbeg is wonderful, but only if you like really peaty.
you got to
scotches.
love peaty stuff, right?
And
So
this
you gotta
one,
know.
this one, I think, could work for people who love peaty scotches and for
This
people who don't.
Like, even on the nose, it has, just like when you take that first sniff, it has the cinnamon, apple, and a little underlying peat. There's, they don't talk about it at all on this box, but
They don't mention peat in any way,
slight
do they?
underlying peat to this.
I could see how you wouldn't need to mention it, and people wouldn't even think about it unless they knew what they were getting, and unless they knew about peat very well, and then you wouldn't really. But if you know it, it's just a nice amount. It's not too much.
It's
It's
really
just the
delicious.
right
It
amount.
just adds interest, and it also adds a little bit of that baking spice kind of to the apple pie that's happening here.
Right, which works tremendously.
Yes.
Yes,
Works tremendously.
This is an outrageously good
For those of you
whiskey. I just want to say.
who have not tried peated scotches, think about a campfire the morning after while it's still smoldering and still has that sort of campfire smell, but it's not a
way.
fire.
Right.
That is what I think of as the peat.
That's
flavor.
closer to
Good
peat.
way
That's
to-
not a bad
Yeah.
way to describe
Yeah.
it.
And this has just a tiny hint of that, just enough to make it interesting, but not enough to make it something that if you're not a peat Scotch
Exactly.
guy,
Like if you
that
weren't
you would reject.
if you weren't noticing it, you wouldn't
It's
notice
not-
it. But noticing it is
right.
nice.
It's
And
not
you know,
Lafreg. It's
you may
not
even be
Ardbeg.
wondering
Yes.
what peat is. So first off, it's a moss. Peat is a moss, and it dies and decays in these layers. And when it does that, it forms what's called a peat bog. You scoop up layers of this peat, and then you take it down the road to your nearest Glen, because you're going to
Because you live near a Glen.
Glen something, right? And then you set it on fire, and it makes smoke, peat smoke. And you let that smoke rise up into where you keep your malt,
Yep.
and you smoke that malt, and then that malt takes in that peat flavor.
And that's how that get. I did not
Yeah,
know that.
right.
That's an interesting thought on how
So,
that gets there.
Yeah, I became aware of peat when I was a kid because I worked for a greenhouse one summer, and we would use peat moss sometimes to make hanging baskets. We would use it
Right.
for the kind of outer layer of the hanging
It
basket.
kind of has a lacy kind of thing.
Yeah. And so I love that smell. I'm used to that smell. But I will say, if you're not into peated whiskeys, a Lafreg or an Ardbeg can really knock you back a bit. This one will not do that.
This
and yet,
has
if
just
you
a
love
hint
peat,
of
it's
it.
got that little hint to keep you
It's got
interested.
just a hint of it.
I'm
to
loving
where
this.
if you love peaty scotches, you're going to love this. However, it's not enough to turn you off if you don't,
I'm
because
like-
it's mostly not peaty.
I'm like McDonald's. I'm loving it. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back. It's Smoking and Toast. Welcome back to Smoking and Toasting. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. So, Ian, you know, occasionally on the show we turn to the news, and the news is generally not always good about the spirits industry. But today, I have something exciting to report.
What's going on?
A U.S. appeals court last Friday declared a nearly 158-year-old federal ban on home distilling to be unconstitutional, calling it an unnecessary and improper means for Congress to exercise its power to tax. The Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in New Orleans ruled in favor of the nonprofit Hobby Distillers Association and 4 of its 1,300 members. It is now completely legal to distill your spirits at home.
So Cletus the slack-jawed yokel is happy because now he can use his second tub.
Now I can make my turlet wine.
Turlet wine.
No, that's absolutely
It's a really wonderful thing
fantastic.
because you could argue that the craft beer explosion of 15 years ago was essentially started by home brewers that were brewing their own in their garage, and it kind of grew and exploded from there.
Dude, with this, I see an explosion of craft
spirits.
I don't fully understand why it was illegal, because back in the day, people would have done that just because that's how they would have gotten it.
I think it goes back to the Prohibition era.
It must have, because I was going to say, and then today, it's not like that's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you have these houses that are just being used. It's so that's probably smart that people
feel like
do
this
that.
is super exciting. People are going to come up with new and wonderful
recipes.
Blend. And by the way, some that are going to be horrible, but they won't necessarily see the light of day. So
I wonder if distilleries will go through the explosion and then soon after implosion of
it could be. Most things that become popular, like they surge to a high, they cool off, but they, just like craft beer, just like cigars, they cool off at a place that was higher than where they were before.
But the real problem with spirits and being able to distill at home is it's a patience game.
It totally is.
You can't,
this is why I'm not distilling spirits, because I have no patience.
Unless vodka or gin is your goal.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why you see so many,
that's what I'm saying. It's not a problem.
Well, you see so many new spirits companies doing vodka and gin first. Why? Because those are young spirits. You don't have to have a really aged spirit to have a good vodka or a good
gin.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it's about what you put in it, what you infuse it with.
Right.
More so, how you distill it more so than
I mean, and look at like Meticulous, who has done so many experiments on different gins to make so many great gins.
So, Ian, one of the things that I remember you saying from the very early days of this show is
beer
that
good?
That and the fact that you like to make cocktails by using a little bit of whiskey and maybe a splash of water or a cube of ice.
Other way around, a splash of water or cube of ice and a lot of whiskey.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, and that qualifies as a cocktail in your mind because that's 2 ingredients.
Yes.
All right. So how much water, let's say you're using a splash of water, how big should that splash be?
The answer is yes.
Okay.
It depends on so many variables. Now let me go ahead, because I know it sounds snarky.
No,
right?
but you have a theory about the ice and how it changes as it goes, which is a different, distinct thing than just adding water.
100%. Correct. Yes, absolutely.
So first off, there is no distiller on this earth of whiskey and fine spirits that's going to say, "Hey, don't put a drop of water or 2 in my whiskey."
Right.
They're going to tell you that you need to open up. So what we're having here is this Glen Grant 12-year-old, okay?
Right. And by the way, Scotch is considered more complex palate-wise than bourbon.
Right.
So if this benefits from a splash of water, it goes to underscore how versatile and how complex this spirit is. If it's really good. We've been drinking it without a splash of water.
Yes, we've been drinking
and
it
enjoying
neat.
the crap out of it.
This is the term, neat, is no water, straight up the way it is. Okay, so I'm going to take my water and I'm going to put just a drop.
Yep.
Oh. Yeah, I did that.
Quite literally a drop.
So every opinion, by the way, about Scotch and water and what have you is subjective.
Yes.
Some people like things a certain way. Other people like a different
Also,
thing.
doesn't it depend on the actual Scotch you're drinking? Some of it would, some could taste better with more and less
That's
water.
why the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Robin Smith is
I
the
understand
owner
that.
of This Blog's Neat. and talked about how much water to add to Scotch for a smooth finish that will not ruin its tasting notes. So Smith says there's no strict rules as to the exact amount of water, but she advises if you're going to add water, add a couple of drops, swirl, smell, taste, and assess, and then repeat. So her advice is don't over pour the water.
So I went one drop of water.
Okay.
And it vastly, go the tiniest bit you can get. Yes. Okay. And it vastly changed the nose and the finish on this.
Well, you're so right. The nose becomes a little mellower, a little more buttery.
Mm-hmm. Buttery is the good way to do it. But here's the thing: take a sip after you have your water, and there's a little heat now to it that wasn't there before.
You're so right.
How funny is that?
Finish.
Yeah,
I would not have expected that from a drop of water.
Added heat to this whiskey.
Adding just the right amount of water will actually help enhance aromas and tasting notes in Scotch you might not perceive otherwise, our expert says. But keep in mind that certain types of Scotch whiskeys are more forgiving than others. Higher proof or cask strength whiskeys can typically handle more water, while lower proof whiskeys have a much smaller window before they get overly diluted.
Yeah, well, obviously, a lower proof whiskey, so coming in at 40%, you're already at a little bit of dilution because they brought it down to 40% to be, what it is. Now, I added a second drop.
And what did that do to it in your taste bed?
It makes it brighter. And it moves the heat forward to the very back of the tongue.
I love moving the heat forward.
To the very back?
Yeah, that sounds like a basketball thing, but we'll get to that later. We'll also get to drinking news. It's in the next segment. This is Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back at Smoking and Toasting. Our show is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And before we get into drinking news, Ian, you added yet a third splash of water.
Quite a splash in this one this time. And then the nose, what happens is it still has a little bit of the apple smell because it's the very, very distinct in this whiskey. But it also has a background of just plain whiskey. Now, it's taken the last splash has taken some character out of the nose, I think, but I haven't tried it yet. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it adds even more butteriness to this. It makes the whole thing smoother, and also it moves again. The heat moves now to the middle of the palate.
Oh, interesting.
It's really interesting, and this is okay. So all the things we're talking about, if you do this in the reverse order, this is like when I put ice in whiskey. So what happens is when I put a chunk of ice in whiskey, and it's not a big chunk. I don't like the giant whiskey ice, okay? That they do in cocktails, the big spheres or the big cubes.
Right.
I like a couple small chips of ice.
I do think they're fun, though.
Well, they are fun. They look cool, right? And that's fine for certain things.
They do look cool, yeah.
But the truth is, I like a couple chips of ice,
chips is
right?
better.
Somewhere Roberto shivered.
If you have,
I like some fridge ice,
Well, so my refrigerator ice is fine. I have the little half moon ones that come out. So one or one and a half of those is about perfect, right? For most of the time when I pour a drink, I'm talking about like a 2-ounce pour, ish. I'm never measuring it, but you know what I mean.
I love this.
So, when I do that, what happens is I always taste my whiskey beforehand, and there are occasions where I just go, you know what, I like this as it is, and I don't put anything in it.
Yeah, not going to dilute it.
When I put whiskey in, especially or when I put ice in a whiskey, especially if I already know that I like ice in this whiskey, I'm going to put the right amount, which is 1.5 moons of ice if your refrigerator does that.
Mine does.
If you have ice cubes, it's 1 cube of ice.
Right.
Or 2 broken cubes of ice.
Well, I would just say this splash of water, I feel like opened this up to be much more, like I'm getting much more of that funky sort of banana aftertaste. And it's all very positive, by the way. This is not a negative. But it just seems like it has enriched the overall flavor profile. Would you agree?
It can. And like I said, when you put it on ice, you taste it neat, you put it on ice. Then you get these the cold flavors, which are always going to be bright, fruity flavors. And then as the ice melts in, you start getting more and more of these warmer flavors, which start bringing in like that apple and that baking spice and those kind of things. It just makes it interesting.
Speaking of interesting, it's time for drinking news.
Drinking news, drinking news. Now it's time for drinking news. A Florida man with one arm said he had a gator for a pet. When asked about his absent arm, he said, I
had to take my gator to the vet.
Drinking news, drinking news. Now it's time for drinking news.
Cheers, y'all. Love that girl. She's so awesome. You know, there are some weeks when I'm preparing this segment when it seems like I have to search high and low to find just the right story for drinking news. I was expecting a little more.
The wax really kept it.
Yeah,
from
the wax.
any
Yeah,
kind of,
you know, but then there are some weeks like this one when our favorite drinking news locale, the Sunshine State, offers up so many stories that we have no choice but to present them all.
It's a little bit like a fountain of youth
for drinking news.
Yes.
Yeah.
Funny,
we
the
have
fountain
no
of
choice.
youth is there too. Ponce de Leon found it there in St. Augustine.
In cases like this, we really have no choice but to present them all in this very special drinking news edition of the Florida Report.
The Florida Report.
Thank you. I was looking for some sort of emphasis.
I needed some.
Florida Report.
We begin with the story of former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz,
Straight to Congress.
who claimed on a podcast last week that while he was in office, an Army official told him about a top-secret program in which captured aliens were breeding with humans to create a hybrid species.
Have you seen the band Engine de Poitrine?
No.
Okay, well, I'm just going to put that out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no word, by the way, on
It's
whether...
worth a Google.
There's no word, by the way, on whether Gaetz volunteered to participate in the program, which is not likely because apparently none of the breedable aliens was underage. We will continue to monitor this story for any cringeworthy updates. Then there's the story of 47-year-old William Murphy III, a Florida man.
Florida man.
I'm glad you responded quickly on that. That was good. A Florida man who was spotted by police driving backwards at a high rate of speed on a Florida highway.
Backwards on the freeway.
He just had watched Mater do it on Cars.
When he was stopped by officers in a Panda Express parking lot, by the way, he claimed that his car had a mechanical issue and that he thought the best option was to drive it backwards to AutoZone, according to the police report. The only apparent problem, the cops say...
When I steer left, it turns right.
Yeah, the only apparent problem, the cops say, is that his mechanical issues seemed to disappear once deputies got in front of him. Or wait, it must have been behind him. Or I don't know. It's all a little confusing. What makes this story so typically Florida is that Murphy, according to police, was arrested following the incident for habitual driving while his license was suspended.
Oh.
Because apparently he had 10 or more prior convictions for similar offenses.
Wow.
And finally, leave it to Florida to teach us all about a new crime, at least one that I had never heard of before. The offense in question is called, and I'm not making this up, lap lifting. The word's a hybrid, combining the act of shoplifting with the act of refusing to pay after getting a lap dance at one of Florida's
Lap-lifting?
fine topless dancing establishments. Lap lifting.
Well, smart girls know you got to get the money up front.
Who says you don't learn anything new on Drinking News?
Wow.
According to police, 46-year-old Robert Maldonado, a Florida man. I'll wait.
Florida man.
Robert,
sorry, I'm over here like
you're pouring beers.
Pouring beers and trying to find like cups that don't
Cups
leak.
that don't leak. Yeah, I get it. We'll get to that.
That's what it
I
is.
promise we will get to that. Robert Maldonado, a Florida man, got 15 straight private dances early Friday morning at Rain, a gentleman's club in Clearwater. The dances cost $40 a piece, plus
Dang, girl.
there was an additional $50 review fee, which sounds less like
What,
something.
Is he buying insurance?
Yeah, it sounds less like something you'd be charged for by a stripper and more like another way that Live Nation would find to rip you off when you're
Amen.
buying concert tickets.
Live Nation.
Live Nation.
In any event, the dances plus the review
Stripper
fee,
fees.
the review fee and the dances brought the Florida man's tab to a total of $650, which he then refused to pay. Apparently,
I feel
that
like he
is-
could have used that money better.
That's a lot of dollars.
Apparently, that is the Florida public school textbook definition of lap lifting. He did offer the semi-naked woman $50, but then refused to pay even that. So police
I got an
were
IHOP
called.
coupon for you.
Yeah, police were called who reported that Maldonado was speaking incoherently and walking around in circles, indicating that maybe, just maybe, he was a tiny bit intoxicated. Imagine that. He was booked into the county jail.
Might have been drunk.
Yeah, he was booked into the county jail, and a judge has ordered him to stay away from bars and clubs, especially those where pasties are optional.
I'm sure he'll do that.
I'll just inject this one small question here. I'm not saying that I've ever been to a Florida strip club or requested a lap dance, but I understand, a friend told me, that as a general rule, topless dancers ask for payment up front, especially if you're getting 15 consecutive lap dances. And then they look for an additional tip after the dance ends.
I'm just saying, I would have been done at 3.
Yeah. Then they
I'm
look
lying, 2.
Then they look for an additional tip after the dance ends, which is usually about the time that the song by Nickelback or Creed finally fades out. At least, again, that's what I've heard.
Listen, I understand, like Chris Rock says, there's no sex in the champagne room, but there is a champagne room, and I feel like it doesn't cost $600 to get there.
Yeah. Now, I wasn't aware that any of the women in question at these establishments would let you pay after she removes her shapely bottom from your lap. I'm going to have to let my friend know about this development. Now, while all of these Florida Report stories are inspiring in their own right, I was particularly taken with this lap lifting story because, look, all that the dancer, we'll just call her Mrs. Charlie Sheen, was trying to do was to pay her way through college by working at the Pink Pony Club or whatever it was called.
I mean, because mom's taking care of her kid.
At least that's what I understand about most topless dancers. And that, of course, is something that I only know according to the friend that I mentioned.
Like I said, Grandma's taking care of the kids, so she's just trying to do right.
Yeah. But yet, when inspiration strikes, I find myself so often with pen and paper in hand, ready to use that moment to write some particularly salient poetry or prose. And that, my friends, is exactly what happened in this case. My inspiration led me to compose the following poem, which I will now read to you guys unedited. And those of you who have been to a topless club, like the friend that I keep mentioning, will have to tell me if it resonates with you. Could I get a little poetry reading music, please? And it goes...
I'm feeling a little reggae.
Go for it.
Or it could be ska. I could go.
Somewhere in Orange County, California, trombones just went crazy.
And they're out of tune.
Yes. And it goes a little something like this. A Florida man, a devious and cheap chap, got 15 private dances until she said, "That's a wrap." But the dancer felt dismay when the man refused to pay. Now it's he who'll be sitting on his cellmate Bubba's lap. Reporting live from the Pink Pony Club in Florida, where even though it was my friend who went inside, somehow I've still got little flecks of glitter all over my clothes. My name is Cruz, and that is your...
Drinking news, drinking news. That's our time for drinking news. Over off of Richmond, right across the street from the formerly the Velvet Elvis.
Yes.
And right next to a place that was called...
Which they got sued.
Beer Cellar.
Yeah.
They're in the same little strip center. There was a...
it's at Velvet Melvin's now or something?
Yes, Velvet Melvin's. Right? Yeah. Across from BB's, if you will, there was a strip club, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. I can't think of it off the top of my
Diamond Club?
Yes.
I don't know how I knew that. That was just like a random guess that I happened to hit on.
That's the one.
I don't know anything about the Diamond Club.
To be fair, strip clubs in Houston have always been the same strip clubs in Houston since 50 years ago. They all are the same ones. They just change hands, and every once in a while change.
But
and
I remember
at some of them, you still get the same dancer from 50 years ago.
I remember driving by there one day, and it said 19 dancers. And underneath 19 dancers, it said 16 hot dancers and 3 ugly ones.
I love the honesty.
I can't make this up.
That's
this
called
is
truth
on the marquee.
Truth in advertising.
That's amazing.
This is
That's
on
called
the marquee.
That's called truth in advertising, is what that is. Ian, we've added some water to this Scotch. What's your overall take on how this Glen Grant performs?
So I have
water?
to tell you, by the time I added the third big splash of water to it, I like it again. I didn't like it as much with the first splash or the second.
So
but
what
I
was
like
it
it
about
with
the
more
third?
water.
What was it about more water that made it work for you?
So you remember the butteriness that was introduced when you put a splash? The butteriness is now a staple of this. And
it's kind of the main thing once you get that far in the water.
Mm-hmm.
It also moved the heat that was almost non-existent when it was full strength, by the way.
Yes.
It moved the heat. The first drop moved it right to the back of the throat. The second drop moved it a little forward of that. The third splash has a tiny bit of heat to it, but just enough to make it almost a little bit of spice in there. And also it's moved forward again. It's almost in the middle of the palate. And I like what it's doing here. I feel like my 2 chips of ice would have probably left it at this place by the time I was getting there.
I just want to mention, I have just tasted this barley wine, and it's going to take all of the final segment of this show to talk about it. So we'll be back to do that next. It's Smoking and Toasting. Welcome back to Smoking and Toasting. Our program is all about craft beer, fine spirits, and hand-rolled cigars. And we are heard all over the world on great radio stations like KELY AM in Salt Lake City.
Dude, I'm so excited to be in Salt Lake City now.
Yeah. I think it's road trip time. I want to drink in some of those kind of speakeasy-styled drinking establishments in Salt Lake City for the unfaithful.
So we're on what, 16 markets now?
Mm-hmm.
Across the U.S., I think that we need to do a road trip to those 16. We need to get a bus.
I like that. Yeah. I
We
like
need to
it.
do a road trip.
Let's go to North Carolina.
We need somebody else to pay for it.
Let's spend time in New Orleans. Yeah, and let somebody else pay for it.
Anybody listening to this, if you feel like, hey, this is something I would pay for,
yeah,
please let me know.
We'll bring you unfiltered reporting. We promise that. Because we are nothing if not unfiltered.
What's our email address?
It is info@RFC Media. I'm sorry, I gave the wrong address. It is S&T or SNT at rfcmedia.com. Either of those will work.
And don't forget smoking and the smoking no G in toasting, and that's our Instagram.
Right, and you can find us on Instagram. You can message us there as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Terry. Ian, you poured this Evil Twin barley wine a moment ago, and I've been sipping on it, and I have to say, I'm blown away.
It's pretty silly.
Yeah. Silly being good.
Oh, wow.
Give me your thoughts on the flavors here.
It's called the Great what?
I just know it's Evil Twin.
Great what?
Oh, it's the great. It's like it's the 44th. The Great Northern Series 44. That's the name of this.
All right. So coming in at 13.5. Barrel blend of barley wine aged 35 months in Henry McKenna 11-year bourbon and barley wine aged 22 months in something Lacos apple brandy.
I get that. I get that note.
I do get a little.
Fill date was so they poured these bottles in 2021 to 2022. Now we're talking about the beginning, the late 2021, beginning 2022. Aging time 35 and 22 months. Adjunct, no adjuncts to this, and then it comes out in this beautiful.
Yeah, but that's
ridiculously fruity.
That's what I was most interested in. Was what's your take on this?
The prune / dateness of it is so forward,
big time. You know, if you like those
the bourbon
like candied fruits, those things that
candied walnut.
Yeah. This is your jam right here.
Yeah. This is quite good. This is not, I'm going to drink this whole bottle by myself because it's so rich. It's so incredibly rich. You definitely want to share this with people. The mouthfeel on this, like it's thinner in the glass than the mouthfeel is. The mouthfeel is...
It's so dark that when you held it up, the black curtains behind it, you just couldn't see.
It's blacker than black.
I love that. No, it's got a certain fidelity to it, a certain, like, gravitas that makes this something to continue to talk about as how great it is.
The barrel aging on this is so barrel aged, it's almost obnoxious.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the best possible way. Like, it's almost obnoxious. The barrel aging, like, this has so much bourbon flavor without being bourbon.
Right.
That it tastes almost like a barbecue sauce to some degree. And I don't mean that in any bad way. It's a little overly sweet. It's a little overly aged. So, and it's pretty good because of those things.
When you go back to the Glen Grant, does all of that like war against the Glen Grant notes, or does it marry up?
Oh, they do not get along.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
No, they do not get along. It makes the Glen Grant actually pretty harsh.
Yes.
Well,
which is interesting because it wasn't harsh at all before we tried this barley wine.
The Glen Grant, I think, though, that it's such a different profile. Like, we've had scotches and we've had whiskeys. Like, bourbon would go well with this beer.
Agreed.
Where this scotch, with its brighter, fruitier flavors, stone fruit, those kind of things, are just not quite the thing that goes with this super gnarly, dark fruit, like date and raisin kind of beer.
It does. It makes it hotter. It makes it just, I don't know, it just makes it angry.
Yeah, it's not quite the same thing.
Yeah.
I love that. It makes it angry.
Makes it angry.
That's the
angry.
The perfect way to
describe
it.
So I will tell you that, like we were talking about ice earlier, the different kinds of ice. You have those big, beautiful squares or the spheres, right? Those are nice. But I really like chips of ice. But I will also tell you that there's times where sometimes, and I have what's called angry ice, and that's the Sonic ice.
Oh, yeah.
That's the little
Why
pellets.
do you call it angry ice?
Because when you put it in something, it immediately makes it as cold as it can possibly be.
I love that.
And it does that with whiskey too, and I actually like that. But it also melts faster.
Yes.
So the thing that we talked about, where you go through the ride of it being cold and then all the way to warm, happens way faster with the angry ice.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I could see that happening.
So you go get ice from. You know who else has that is Chick-fil-A has that same ice.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right. Or Cane's has that same ice.
Yeah.
But Chick-fil-A, you can go through and just order a bag of ice. Same as Sonic.
Yeah, Sonic,
You can go through and just order that bag of ice.
Nice.
So if you're having a night where you really want people to like try different things, but you want it to go a little faster, you're doing small pours, then the Angry Ice is nice because it's such a small amount. You can just put tiny pellets in there.
Well, this has certainly been a fun show, mostly because of what we've been able to taste and enjoy. But I hope you guys have enjoyed it as well. Thank you for being here for show number 481 of Smoker and Toast.
481. No one stopped us.
But someone soon will, I'm sure. Have a great week, my friends. And until we meet again, I will just say, cheers, y'all.
Cheers, y'all. Also, welcome Salt Lake City.
Yes.
Whatever happens, don't leave it so soon. It's alright when it's okay.